pinned comment in here as well. How's everyone doing? Everybody. We're live again. Hope you guys can hear me and see me okay. I'm doing one of these interesting vertical streams, so, you know, got to make sure we're getting it right. What's going on? We are live, right? Yes, we are live. Yeah, oh, what's going on? Cool. Guys, talk to me. Is it working? Yeah, we are. We're on. YouTube was having a little bit of a funny moment just now. Cool, we're in. So what are we going to do today? Well, I thought I'd come on and chat to you guys because I'm posting a video later, and at about an hour or so, I'll be posting a new video, and I thought, well, we'll just come on and we'll have a chat before I post it, and we'll see what's going on with you guys. Hope we get some questions today. I'm looking for some more relaxed questions today. I'm hoping we're going to get some sensible questions, not really in the mood for silliness, which could end up resulting in some pretty interesting outcomes, you know, as I'm not in the mood for silliness. So if silliness comes, things might, you know, I can't guarantee how the silliness would go down. So we'll just have to wait and see. What's going on? Don't Use, a friendo, Aviduda, Ultimol Cretin, and Kerry we've got here. And obviously we've got Annie moderating as well. So guys, yeah, what will we do? We're going to hang out a little bit. We're going to have some chill. You can ask me some questions. I'll answer some questions. And then when my video is out, you guys are going to go watch it. That's what's going to happen. Because this new video, I'll give you a spoiler. This new video that we did, it actually is us guys and myself, Joey Carbstrong, Mel and Steve. We went and protested supermarkets and with megaphones and stuff. So it was pretty hardcore. That's coming out just in about an hour or so. Martin, what's up, mate? So yeah, that's pretty interesting. Stick around for that. Sharon, how's it going? RubyTube, Lizzie, Patrick, what's going on? What's going on, everybody? All right. So guys, shoot me some questions. Let's have a chat. What camera do you use from protests? I use a Sony a7S III. That's what I use for the camera, but it's a pretty expensive camera. I recommend if you want to do the same thing, if you want to get a good camera and get some good results out of it, the Sony a7C is a more budget-friendly option. The a7S III is pretty high level, but the a7C is also pretty high level, but it's a lot cheaper. I think it's like half the price, maybe, the a7C. Or the ZV-10, I believe, is another even more budget option that's also pretty decent. That's the one that Mel and Steve uses. Mel and Steve, the channel, uses, or Mel and Steve use, whichever way you're thinking about it. Patrick's asking, thoughts on cosmetic skeptics? Fat and bodybuilder vegans are causing unnecessary suffering. Yeah, I've been chatting with a couple of mates about that because we had a good chat about it and you know, found it quite... It's a funny philosophical thing, I suppose, in a way. But if you're going to actually try and apply that as some kind of standard that, oh, vegans shouldn't bodybuild and vegans shouldn't, you know... eat more than they need because then it's whatever he's trying to say, you know, then, okay, what other movement do you hold to that standard? Have a think about that, right? Because other movements, like human rights movements, you know, what human rights movements are you going to hold to that kind of standard, right? None. People only hold vegans to this kind of ridiculous standard that you should only eat the exact amount of calories, otherwise you're some kind of fake vegan or whatever. They only do that because it makes them feel, because of feeling guilty. They feel guilty about not being a vegan, so they look for ways out. And unfortunately, I know the thing is with him is that he is a philosophy channel. So of course, you know, he's going to speak about philosophical stuff. And I think that's all you should really take from it, is that it's just an interesting philosophical thing, and I wouldn't take it as any kind of prescription that he's saying, oh, vegans shouldn't do this or shouldn't do that. This is the issue with these philosophy channels, is that they often just bring up topics that are interesting to have a chat about, and then people take that as like, oh, we should do this or shouldn't do this from that. Like, no, they're just a philosophy channel. They just bring up ideas and discuss them online, you know? This is why I think a lot of vegans, honestly, I kind of edge towards the belief that vegans would probably do better to not engage in balls deep philosophy chats, because they tend to lead down ridiculous places. And veganism and being against animal abuse is very, very simple. You don't need to go balls deep, 7 levels deep on some kind of philosophy stuff to understand that stabbing an animal for a burger is not a good thing to do to the animal for the animal, right? And I think, I don't know, I'm definitely leaning more towards the trying to keep it simple versus getting into the philosophy side of things. I did dip my toes in the philosophy side of things a couple times, but then I realized this is, you know, things can go very awry very quickly in that world, and you can end up with some really crazy examples and hypotheticals and stuff. And I just don't. It's useful for people who like that, but it's the majority of people don't really understand why you're saying these things. So it's probably better to focus on the majority and changing the majority as opposed to changing small pockets of society that understand these, you know, 7 balls deep philosophy chats. I see a couple of guys asking questions. Sharon's asking, are you still in the UK? Sharon, I'm not in the UK. No, not currently. I'll be back there at some point, though. I'll be back there for NARD in Bournemouth. If you guys know National Animal Rights Day in Bournemouth, I'll be back there for that it's just at the beginning of June, I think, or end of May. I'm giving a talk there. And also Annie and I are going to do an evening with Annie and David Rams, and we're going to just sit and have a nice open discussion with people and answer questions in real life. So you guys you should totally come to that, Sharon, if you're free in Bournemouth, and anyone who lives in the UK or near Bournemouth should definitely get down for that. Guys, I'm going to stick to like the most recent chat. So if you've got questions and you have not answered, just pop them in the chat again and put my name as well. Please. Ruby is asking, what's in Bournemouth? That's Bournemouth. National Animal Rights Day is a day that happens all over the world. And this year, I've been invited to go and give a speech in Bournemouth and also to do an event in Bournemouth at the same time. So that's why I'll be in Bournemouth this year. So yeah, definitely make it down if you can make it down. Wally says, by the way, great work, David. Cheers for that, Wally. Appreciate it, mate. Hopefully you guys will stick around for the video that's coming out today. I have a video coming out in about an hour or so, and I hope you guys will enjoy it. It's a bit spicy, got to be honest with you, pretty hardcore. Marcos, legend. Thank you, vegan activist. Veganism is the only way to a happy future for all of us. Marcos, dude, you're a legend, mate. And I agree, man. I agree with you. And thank you so much for supporting me and being here, dude. You're a total legend. And you're a regular now, Marcos. I mean, maybe you've always been a regular. Correct me if I'm wrong, but are you relatively new to the channel, or at least new to the members team? Or is my memory getting mixed up? These days, man, I have so much trauma, guys. So much trauma. So if I don't remember something, right, you gotta bear with me, all right? Right now, we're doing some stuff, some confidential stuff. We're seeing a lot of things, doing a lot of things behind the scenes, and it's very traumatic. Okay, so just if I don't remember who you are, I don't remember a name or something like that, guys. If that ever happens, it's not your fault. It is my fault, but it's because of all this other stuff going on. It's pretty hardcore, okay, guys. But Marcos, let me know anyway, dude, if I got that right or wrong. What's that? I'm 17 years in second PUC. What is that? Wally, are you saying you're 17 years vegan? That's cool if so. Anon asks, hey David, do you have any pets? What are your thoughts on animal ownership? I don't have any animals in my care currently. My mum does. She has 5 rescue dogs, and Annie's family, my wife Annie's family, has 1 dog in the home. On animal ownership is an interesting word in the way that, look, I mean, at the end of the day, if somebody has a child, you wouldn't say they own their child, but they have responsibility over their child. They make decisions for their child, and if someone tries to harm their child, they defend their child. In that way, that's a good thing, a good situation for an animal to be in when they've been rescued. So obviously, I'm against breeding animals. You shouldn't breed animals to have as in the home. But if somebody rescues an animal from a shelter and takes them home and then treats them as one of their children, then, you know, it's not ownership. I know by law it is ownership, but I guess also in a way by law, I don't know if kids are technically owned by their parents. I don't know how they phrase it in law, but yeah, if it's the same as that, then there's obviously no problem at all with someone having, quote, ownership over a rescue animal, because then it gives them responsibility over that animal. And that's a good thing, because then they're going to look after them forever, right? Animal guardians, Sharon says. Yeah, you're totally right, Sharon. Animal guardians. Were you vegan in school? And if so, were you bullied? Kids at my school make fun of it. They act like chickens while talking about meat and keep asking me, is that vegan? Ruby asks. I was vegetarian at school, and vegetarianism was back then what veganism is to people now. So yeah, bullying, not so much bullying, but you know, people saying mean stuff to me, and it wasn't bullying. I never got bullied for being vegetarian. I got bullied for other things, but not for being vegetarian. But yeah, people were weird about it and stuff. It's annoying. Best thing you can do is just look. School is school. It is a part of your life that sucks if you're not succeeding at it or whatever. But just stick it out, and usually towards the last couple of years of school, you meet your people and people mature a little bit more, and then you actually find your people, and then everything's fine. And that's how it worked for me anyway, and I know it's worked for other people that way. Or you'll end up leaving school, and yeah, whatever happened there, like if it was bad, it's bad, and you just move on and make your own life from then on. So just stick it out. You'll be all right. You know, just stick through it. Just be strong. Don't let them get to you. Okay. I know it's easier said than done, but just keep going. You'll be all right. And we're here for you as well. So remember that. You can always come to these streams, and we'll always be here for you. Marcos says, I'm so convinced that veganism is the most important way for us as united humanity of the 21st century. We must direct now all. Yeah, Marcos, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, the weakest and most vulnerable among us are animals. And if we pull together to save the weakest and most vulnerable among us, yeah, I mean, the possibilities are endless. If we solve that issue, who knows what else we could solve? A lot of people do believe that the reason that we treat other people so badly is because, well, I mean, if we treat the ones who have zero defense, the ones who need help the most, the ones who need protection the most, if we treat them, we put them in slaughterhouses, we mutilate their bodies, then why is it any surprise that there's war in the world? Why is it any surprise that we treat the weakest among us that badly? And then people can like say, oh, why is there so much violence in the world with humans? Like, well, I mean, yes, a lot of people make that connection, and I'm definitely sympathetic to that connection too. I think there's something to it. Sprinkle, welcome to the team, Sprinkle. Good to have you here. Join the members team. Guys, if you want to join the team as well, just click the little join button right below the video, and you can also join the team. You get access to exclusive videos, exclusive live streams, and most importantly, supporting my work. So I think everyone wins, really. Do you have someone to look out for you, Axe? Are you guys? Oh, sorry, I thought you were asking me a question. Yeah, guys, put my name in if you're going to ask me a question. Wally says, I knew the situation in school will come one day when I become vegan. That's why the moment I became vegan, I did the strength training. Now I'm the strongest in the whole school. Wally, legend. That is so sick. That is so sick. Yeah, that's a really good way of doing it, is to get ready for the nonsense by getting strong as hell. Love that. Anon's asking, how do you deal with family members that make fun of you being a vegan? Well, I mean, I'm in quite a fortunate position that my mum is a vegan, and my youngest brother's a vegan. My middle brother is a vegetarian, but obviously he's respectful. And I don't speak to my extended family. We just never had a relationship. And so I'm in a bit of a weird position to give advice on this. But all I would tell you is that your family they're not the people you want to talk to about veganism, all right? They're not the people you want to convince. It's not going to work because they don't see you as any kind of authority on this topic. If you want to convince your family to be vegan, or at least to respect you being a vegan, best thing you can do is have them speak to another vegan that's not a member of your family. And that's a good way of just introducing them to the idea and why to be a vegan, because they'll listen to somebody else, but they might not listen to you. On the other hand, you could simply just say to them something like, I'm not going to try and convince you of anything, but this is very important to me, and I am very emotionally invested in this. I believe this is the right thing to do, and I am also hurt when I see what happens to animals, and it really bothers me, and because they're so innocent and defenseless. So I'd appreciate it if, just for the sake of not making my life harder, if you could be more chill about this, please, and maybe just don't make fun of me as much, because just be real. Just be real. Because to be real, it's one more thing on my plate, and I'd rather you didn't do it, if that's okay, right? And I think if most people are going to be okay about that, and if they're not, then I wouldn't even bother seeing them anymore. What kind of nasty person would hear that and then carry on being silly and being a douchebag? So Gino says, how do you consume protein? Gino is asking, how do I consume protein? I consume protein the way everyone consumes protein. I eat foods that have protein in them. There are lots of plant-based vegan foods that have protein in them. I'm doing yesterday I had 180 grams of protein. The day before that, probably around 100, 150, 130, 150. I'm aiming for at least 150 every day. So what I do is, to get that while I'm training, I do some protein shakes, obviously, because they're just to boost things up a little bit. But aside from the protein shakes, I'm doing like a protein oatmeal with some like ground flaxseed. And I mix sometimes the protein powder into the oatmeal as well, with some soy milk to get another protein source, the soy milk, some seeds in there, some pumpkin seeds, another protein source. What else do I have with the breakfast? Yeah, that's a breakfast every day. My breakfast every day is about 70 grams of protein, and that's just breakfast. That's like just under half the protein I'm going to eat for the whole day in one meal. Another way I get protein, I do texturized vegetable protein, which is basically just crumbled soy. You mix it with water or mix it into a sauce. It's for every gram, it's like half a gram of protein. So you have 50 grams of that stuff. It's 25 grams of protein. So I get tons of protein anyway. I just stick to these sources, and so far I'm doing pretty good, building muscle, training, feeling all right. And as Annie's just posted there, check out Challenge 22. You can get some easy recipes, high protein recipes, cheap recipes there from Challenge 22 as well. All for free. Bob's asking, will you be eating lab-grown meat when it's available? What about lab whey? Don't know. Probably not, to be honest with you. I probably won't make it any part of my life. We'll see, but probably not. I'm happy it exists. I'm happy it's being made. But I don't think I'm very interested in starting to eat lab-grown meat, or, we'll see anyway. Not too sure right now. Devi's asking, since when did you start being a vegan? About 14 years ago, Debbie. I was born and raised vegetarian and vegan for the last 14, 15 years, something like that. Cheers for the question. What am I drinking? This is just orange juice. Just straight up, I guess it looks kind of green on the camera for some reason. It's weird. It's just orange juice. That's funny. All right. If the vegan movement gets wild, we will motivate the innovators to bring new technologies to life, so we can have our veggies without harming no one. That's true, Marcos. Yeah, we're definitely heading towards that world. I agree. Yeah, we got some. I'm going to the people in the chat who are, I see like 30% of you guys, 26% of you guys are not vegan. You are totally welcome here, guys. I'm a vegan, but you're totally welcome here. I'm very happy you're here. I hope you stick around. You are more than welcome to ask questions, to put my name in and ask questions. However, today I'm going to ignore the silly billies today. I'm going to focus on the people who are being sensible. Normally, when we do these live streams, I react and respond to trolls, and it all gets a little bit silly. Today, I'm going to make an effort to not deal with the trolls. We're going to ignore the trolls. We're going to let them stay here and be silly. But I'm going to answer any questions that you have that are not silly billy. All right? No silly billies are going to get their questions answered today. So if you've got questions about veganism, ask them. You'll get a direct answer. But no silly billy questions that are just trying to troll, We're not going to do it today. I'm going to try my best not to. I get tempted, though. Do you do vegan activism full-time, or do you have a day job? If so, what kind of job is it? No, I do this full-time. This is what I do. I have, obviously, YouTube and everything that you see here on YouTube. I also have other things going on in the background as well that I'm doing, and that's what I'm doing right now. The other stuff I can't talk about, not quite yet, but I will be able to talk about it soon. Cheers for the question. Brent's asking, who would win in a cage match, you versus Lifting Vegan Logic? Probably, it's tough because I think the problem is with Danny's got age on his side, you know what I mean? I think that's a big factor. I think Danny's only 26 and I'm almost 35. So I don't know. I think I've got more I think I've got a more aggressive side to me than him. He's very, very chill, you know. I think that would be on my side, but I don't know. Physically wise, well, it'd be pretty tough. It'd be a tough call. Maybe we can try it one day. Don't have a cage match. Thank you. I'm not vegan, but always open to finding out more. My mum has been a vegan for 30 years. Damn, that is interesting now. What holds you back from also being a vegan, mate? If you, I guess you care about animals, or I guess at least you're against animal cruelty. You know, animal agriculture, meat, dairy, eggs, all these comes from animal cruelty, man. There's no way to get those products without being cruel to animals. So what stops you from making that switch, mate? Let me know. Jinrai is asking, what do you think of other vegans that instead of making a strong case hurts the cause? You'd have to give me some examples, Jinrai, to be honest with you. But yeah, give me some examples if you can, and I'll try and get back to you. Bob's asking, do you think it's realistic for a vegan to be life partners with someone who isn't vegan? Definitely not realistic. Because it's like if you are someone who is an anti-racist and you're just super against racism and you protest against racism and you've worked for all your life trying to beat racism, would they get married to a racist, like a full-on outward racist? No. And there's a clear conflict of the core beliefs, right? It's the same with a vegan who is passionate about animals and ethical animal ethics, and then asking them, would you marry somebody who does not care about animal ethics whatsoever and actually pays for people to stab them? It's not gonna work out long term, is it? I don't think. You can hear an alarm there, no, a siren. What is your opinion about 100% artificial food for humans designed from science and artificial intelligence's miracles? I don't see any problem with them. We'll have to see the health outcomes, and if there's no negative health outcomes, then no problem. Just had a question, Marcos. Hadi Dubai, have you ever faced any health issue or losing vitamins or losing hair because of being a vegan? No, I've never lost hair. I've lost hair because of getting old. Like, my hair's still here, by the way. It's a bit flat, but like, you know, I still have hair. It's just, you know, I'm getting a bit older. So yeah, I'm starting to get the little receding. But no, nothing. What you're referring to here is malnutrition. Now, I've never had malnutrition as a vegan because I eat a healthy diet. I eat enough calories. I eat enough nutrients. It's very difficult. As a vegan, it's difficult to starve yourself, right? It's difficult to not eat properly. The people you've seen online who lost their hair or ended up looking sick, that's because they have most likely an eating disorder, right? It's not because they were vegan. It's because they were a vegan with an eating disorder. And I'm sorry to be so brute about this, you know, and so direct about this, but if you are eating plant-based and you manage to put yourself in a position where you look emaciated and your hair is falling out and there's something, some people say the teeth falling out, that's because you clearly have a disorder. There's something wrong here. It's not the diet, because plants are full of nutrients. Plant-based foods are full of nutrition, full of calories, fat, protein, carbs, everything. So you simply just must have a disorder. There must be something else going very wrong here. Not eating enough calories, not eating enough nutrition. And unfortunately for those people, they often get used. These people with issues get used by anti-vegans to make a point, saying, oh, look, vegans, look what vegans. So it's like, no, you're making fun of people with eating disorders. You're not making fun of just vegans. And that's horrible, really. And these people need help. They should definitely not be on YouTube channels and stuff, you know. So yeah, Hadi, I hope that answers your question, mate. What else you got for me, guys? So I'm back at the bottom of the chat now, guys. So if you've got questions, put my name and then ask a question. Right now, I'm looking at the chat right now. So now's your time to do it, because I'm gonna try not scrolling up, because I know some of you will end up waiting for a long time. So making fun of vegans is actually horrible too, FYI, Kerry says. I mean, Kerry, to be honest with you, yes and no. I don't mind people making fun of us a little bit, just playful, you know, make a joke. Like, it's fine. We can laugh at ourselves too, you know. But when people genuinely make fun of us because they don't like us and they hate us, yeah, that's weird. Like, we care about animals, and we're standing up for the ones that don't have a voice. They don't have any voice that anyone listens to. And yeah, it's a weird. Why would you make fun of us, you know, in a mean way? Playful way? I mean, we can laugh at ourselves, you know. I can anyway. I mean, I think it's a strength, guys. it's a superpower. To be able to laugh at yourself and be able to take a joke is a superpower, because then it takes people's ability to harm you away with in some ways. So yes, we are going to the vegan camp out, Lizzie. We'll see you there. Big Chillin says, how's it been working on Pignorant campaign? Well, today's video, which is going to be out in about 30 minutes or so, 40 minutes, that one is about Pignorant. It's a part of the Pignorant campaign. It was intense. It was really hard. We were very tired a lot of the time, because it was just bam, 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 non-stop. But it was a brilliant campaign, and it was brilliant to be part of it and to still be part of it. We learned a lot. We did a lot, and it was great. Anna says, Anna, what's up? Anna, did I miss a question from you? Ask it again. I'm keeping an eye on the chat, but I'm not scrolling back up through the chat, so you're going to have to be quick. All right, guys. Me and my family have been vegan for 6 years. However, my sister had recently mentioned eating eggs for health reasons. Currently in a debate with her. She's talking about bioavailability. Bioavailability of what? Of protein, because that's been largely debunked. Like, it's shown that, yes, some animal proteins are more bioavailable than plant proteins, but it only makes a difference if you're some kind of elite bodybuilder. If you're not an elite bodybuilder, then the health outcomes are almost identical, as in you can grow muscle either way. But obviously, if you're getting down to something like 0.01% difference between this guy and that guy, then maybe then it makes a difference. But who's looking at that? So no, plant-based proteins are as effective for muscle growth and for health as animal-based proteins. So despite this bioavailability thing, the outcomes show that. So, the bioavailability thing doesn't matter as much when the outcomes show that they both work. Tessa's asking, David, when did you go vegan? How old were you? I'm vegan and I'm 12. That's crazy, Tessa. That is awesome. It's really cool. I hope you stick at it. You're going to probably get a lot of crap at school, but good on you for doing the right thing. I was vegan. I was vegetarian from birth. So I went through all my school years as a vegetarian, and a vegan from around, oh God, it was about 14, 15 years ago. So probably around 19, 20, I went vegan. But yeah, Tessa, you're a legend. Well done. You're doing a great thing. I saw you do an event in Bournemouth, which looks great, but unfortunately too far for me to travel. Will you be any in the Northeast? Don't plan on going to the Northeast. Sorry, Jay, mate. It is a mission to get to the Northeast, mate. But if you come into the camp out, the vegan camp out, we'll see you there. What else we got? Bioavailability with vitamins, etc. Vitamin K and D. Vitamin K is available in tons of plant foods, and vitamin D is very, very simple. You just get a spray. You get some plant milk fortified with vitamin D, breakfast cereals fortified with vitamin D. I mean, you know all this stuff, Ruby, right? Just it sounds to me that your sister, you said, sounds like your sister's making some excuses, or it sounds like potentially she's been influenced by some silly carnivore, anti-vegan influencer of some sort, which does happen from time to time. Very annoying. These guys cast doubt on people, and they do that because they just want to sell a book or sell a supplement. Very silly. So, yeah, hopefully she comes around. Brent is asking, David Ramstein, when was your first tattoo and your last tattoo? Brent, that is a question I'd have to think about, mate. I'm not going to do it today because I think it'd be quite boring for people who are not into tattoos, but I can briefly tell you my first one was something here. Like it was in the middle of this. I don't remember what the last one was. Hey. Marcus, veganism is the voice that comes from deep inside you that says, please, we don't deserve this hell from you earthlings. We demand our freedom, our lives, to look at the blue sky for 1 minute, please. Marcus, thank you so much, mate, for that, for supporting. You're such a legend, and great to see your passion today, mate. Lots of passion coming through, and I'm totally there with you, man. Thank you. Totally there with you. And also, Sharon, thank you for your donation too. Please advise on the best comeback for the crops debate. I struggle with that. Love you both. So you mean the crop? First of all, thank you. Love you too. And second, so the crops debate. You mean when people say, "Oh, animals are killed in crops, therefore vegans are blah blah blah." There's a couple of things to talk about here. So when people say to vegans, "Well, vegans, you're hypocrites because animals die to grow your food," right? And they mean animals die in crop production. First of all, most crops are produced for animal feed, for food for animals who are then killed themselves and then fed to people. So basically you're doing what one guy said to me is double homicide here. You're growing a plant and that's crop production has harm to animals too, and then you're harming the animals that you feed those plants to as well. So you're doing it twice. You're doing it more. So actually, just by eating plants directly, you're doing less harm to animals. So you're actually solving that problem a little bit there. Now, the other thing, the other side of this is to claim that this is a big issue. This idea of vegans eat plants and plants are causing animals to die as well. Crops are causing animals to die as well. Vegans are less than 1% of the world population. So the idea that they're trying to act like we're causing more harm than them, well, obviously not, right? But anyway, one more point on this. The only people that say this are currently not vegan. So they're calling you a hypocrite, basically, right? But if we're hypocrites because we eat plants and crop production has some animal death involved, then they're even bigger hypocrites because they are funding industries that grow plants to feed animals and then industries that breed, mutilate, and stab animals in slaughterhouses and gas them to death. So if they're trying to say you're a hypocrite, then by default, they're calling themselves an even bigger hypocrite. If anything, what they're saying to you is, you're a hypocrite, but I'm a horrific, violent hypocrite. See, you're a hypocrite because it's unavoidable as a vegan. You got to live, you got to eat plants, right? Not avoidable. But I could avoid the horrific violence of a slaughterhouse, but I choose not to. So if anything, if you even want to say to them, sure, okay, whatever, I'm a hypocrite. What does that say about you, though, dude? At least I'm trying to do something about this. At least I'm trying. You're not trying at all. All you're doing is just trying to look for an excuse to keep on killing animals so you can keep on eating burgers, bro. So there's actually a couple of things for you to go for, Sharon. I hope this was simple enough, clear enough. There's a lot of ways to talk about it, but it is, it's such a red herring. Red herring is basically when someone tries to use a distraction technique to make you, to knock you off, basically. So you say something like, hey, shouldn't stab animals in the throat for a burger. And instead of saying, you know what, I agree with you, and I think I'm not going to do that anymore, which is what a normal human being who has empathy would say, they're immediately going, how can I get away with this? What can I do to distract this vegan so that I can keep eating burgers? Aha! But animals die in crops. So I can keep on paying people to stab animals in the throat. Like, what? You know what I mean? It's kind of annoying at this point, to be honest with you. It's just kind of like one of those where it's just like, really? Again? Come on, guys. Can we just have a normal conversation where you just show that you have a heart and a soul and you say, instead of asking, instead of coming back with a comeback, instead of that, just say, hey, but I read something about, crops, and is this not a problem too? I mean, I want to be a vegan, but I'm just curious. I'm a bit concerned about that. Why can we not have like that kind of conversation instead of, oh, but vegans are hypocrites, blah, 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 which is clearly just a defense mechanism, We have, all right, what else we got, guys? I'm back in the chat again. Oh, it's moving quick though. Bloody hell. Is that a microphone on my hat? It is a microphone on my hat. Yep. It is a microphone on my hat. What do you think about vegans who claim honey and oysters are acceptable for vegans? Honey is clearly not, absolutely not. It is animal exploitation, simple as that. Oysters, some people try to argue oysters don't have a brain, so they're just like plants. But they do have nerve ganglia, which is a precursor to a brain. So it's not clear cut, it's not black and white. So I just say don't bother. Why bother? You don't need to eat oysters. Don't eat oysters. Just best to err on the side of caution, is it not? Cheers for the question, by the way, mate. What am I drinking? Again, it's orange juice. But it just looks so weird. Look at that. It's funny. Everyone's asking me because it looks so bloody strange. Again, so they're asking it's a green thing. It's not. It's orange juice, guys. I'm telling you. I don't think anyone disagrees factory farming is wrong, says Icy Slush. Good to hear you say that, mate. That's really good. And it is wrong. It absolutely is wrong. But you know what? You know what I've discovered? I've been to a lot of local farms too. And local farms, they're just as violent as factory farms, except it's just different violence. You see, with the factory farms, the violence there is the reasons that it's horrible and cruel is because there's so many animals and they're just crammed in and they're all dying and they're all diseased and it's like, oh, it's brutal, right? Just disgusting. But with the local farms, they don't have the same issue as that. It's not that it's absolutely crammed like there, and so it's a little bit different. But the issues they have, well, they run a little bit differently, but the cruelty is still there. So they'll do a lot of stuff in-house that is, not done with the same way as a factory farm would do, because they have less money, for example. So they cut corners and they have old machinery and they do things in old school ways. I don't want to go into examples because it's going to get real dark real quick. But my point is, it's all violence, it's all cruelty. It just comes in different forms between factory farms and local farms. And remember this, even if a local farm has somehow managed to not harm these animals in any way, imagine if that happened, which is very rare, by the way, but I guess it could happen, right? A local farm that operates some kind of, I don't know, they're massaging the cows and they're brushing them every day, treating them kind of like a horse in a stable, imagine if there is some farm that claims to do that. They all go to the same slaughterhouse. And if they don't go to the same slaughterhouse as the factory farmed animals, guess what happens? They'll kill them right there on the local farm. And do you know how they do that? The same way they do in the slaughterhouse. They'll shoot them in the head and they'll slit their throats. Or they'll just slit their throats. In the case of birds, they just slit their throats straight up. They don't stun them or anything like that. In a slaughterhouse, though, they drop them in electrified water. In a local farm, they'll just pull out the knife and they chop their heads off even. So regardless of how these animals are raised, regardless of the life they had before they were killed, they were still brutally killed, murdered, just savagely murdered by someone with a knife or a gun. So yeah, we're all against factory farms, but I'm telling you, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter whether it was a factory farm or a local farm. It's all disgusting. It's all violence to animals. Your thoughts? Ban factory farms campaign by DXC in California, I guess that is. When I asked, what do you say when folks ask what the alternative is in a live stream, Cassie said, small farmers are struggling. Really? That doesn't make any sense to me. Maybe they've got some kind of strategy that they're going for. I'll try and be, open-minded. Maybe they had some kind of idea, some kind of thing they're trying to achieve, but no, I don't agree with that. BB, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you. I didn't miss it. I caught it. It was some kind of little, it's a noob thing. Okay, well, cool. Thank you. Appreciate it. I know some people who won't eat anything without a face. Well, with a face. I was going to say without a face. Yeah. Anything with a, so that's just all animals, basically. Yeah. Victor, vegan for the win. Hell yeah, Victor. Hell yeah, bro. Alex is saying, I personally buy my animal foods and dairy from local butchers. Yeah, but mate, that local butcher stabbed an animal in the throat, slashed their throat open. Doesn't matter if it's local. Factory farms are all local to someone. So, you know what I'm saying, mate? Doesn't matter if they're local. George, what's your exercise routine? George is asking. I'll share it at some point. I'll be doing a video at some point about it. But I got an exercise routine, a program from Lifting Vegan Logic. And I recommend that for anybody who's looking to bulk up. But basically, I'm only doing like 3 days a week at the minute. I can't do legs right now because I've got an injury in my toe, and it just killing me right now. I'm gonna go get it x-rayed and find out what the hell's going on. It just doesn't seem to be getting better, really annoying. When I think I stubbed it really hard on the middle toe, and it is just swollen, just won't go away. So I'm gonna go and get it checked out and make sure I didn't bloody break it. And then, so yeah, legs are out right now, which is a perfect excuse not to do leg day. Obviously, no one likes leg day. So I'm just doing 3 days a week right now, just all upper body. I look like, got bloody chicken legs right now. My upper body's all like, doof, doof, doof. Just chicken legs down the bottom. But I'll fix it once it's done. What injury? Nothing. It's just smashed my middle toe, and then it's been a couple of weeks of it hurting. The problem is with your toes, right? Is if this is a way off topic, but if you break a toe, you got to walk on it every day, so it's just never getting better. I've tried tying it up and stuff. I don't know. Maybe they'll give me crutches, and then I'll finally let it heal. I don't know. Let's see. Super annoying though. It has gotten a little bit better, though, to be honest with you guys, but still annoying. What else we got, guys? Give me some questions. I'm looking at the chat. I'm here. Humane butchers, though, doesn't exist, says Martin. Yeah, obviously. Are you Jewish because you have a Jewish name? I'm not Jewish, no, mate. I'm English. I don't know. Jews can be English. I'm not Jewish, but yeah, I'm English. Rams is just a different version of my surname. My surname is Ramsden, so I just changed it to Rams because it's shorter and just cooler, obviously. Are you and Lifting Vegan Logic going to collab on a workout? I hope so, yeah. We'll see how things go. Should be soon. You should do a live with James Aspey. I am going to do a live with James Aspey. We've already got it. We've not set a date yet, but we will be doing it. It's going to happen. What do you think about avian flu spreading to cows and spreading globally right now? It does this, yeah. I mean, this is what happens when you take thousands of chickens, thousands of birds, and you shove them into a barn and you leave them in there in their own urine and their own feces, dirt and disease and maggots everywhere and just filth. It's a breeding ground for all sorts of nasty stuff. And then people wonder, oh, where did this new aggressive strain of flu come from? Avian flu, that's crazy. Where did it come from? Shock horror. It came from the farms again. It's like, are you serious? How is every year everyone's like, oh my God. And then they say, oh, we had to kill 3 million birds in just the last 2 months. Oh, we had to cull them. We had to wipe them all out of the farms because of this disease and because of this avian flu or whatever. And you're like, yes, it's going to happen every year for the rest of time because you're cramming thousands of animals into sheds and treating them like dirt, leaving them in their own feces and urine. I don't understand what you think is going to happen when you do that. I don't understand people are still shocked about it. Stop doing this to animals and you'll stop a lot of the spreads and a lot of these new diseases and viruses or whatever. You'll stop a lot of that from even happening, you know? Come on, guys, switch on. Isn't it time? Have we not realized this by now? Like your hat. Thanks, Maisie. Appreciate it. Cheers. Have you done activism with Jack and Tash Peterson? Gave me lots of advice. Yeah, we've worked with Jack and Tash. Legends. Great people. Everyone should go follow them. Jack Higgs and Tash Peterson. I'll answer this silly question, maybe. Just one. Meat is needed for humans. It's not a question. Meat is needed for human survival. Veganism is a first world fad. So just wrong on both accounts there. Meat is not needed for human survival, first of all. And nope, there are loads of vegans in developing countries like, for example, India. There's vegans in countries in Africa. So again, just wrong and wrong again. Oof, tough break, bro. Big poultry farmers have received millions of dollars for their losses. Animal welfare groups contend that aid reinforces inhumane killings of birds exposed to the virus. Yeah, it's disgusting, isn't it? They get bailed out, you know, and they you know how they cull birds? You know how they do this when there's an outbreak of bird flu? There's a couple of ways they do it. One of the ways is they just pump the place full of gas, or they pump the place full of foam that suffocates the birds. And one way that they've been doing it, they just turn off the ventilators so that the birds just die of heat exhaustion. How disgusting is that? All three of these ways are absolutely horrific, just sickening. Eating animals is weird, cruel, and unnecessary. I agree, Race. I don't skip your comments, bro. It's just most of the time you're just messing around in the chat, so I just let you have your fun. Please do a live with DXC and ask them about the Banned Factory Farms campaign, what they're saying the alternative is. Well, I don't know if Wayne Chung is still involved with DXC, but I'm going on his channel next week. I'll ask him and see if he knows anything about it. Joey says, I'm not a vegan, but I have mad love for you, David. I appreciate that, Joey. I appreciate the love, dude. I hope you'll reconsider not being a vegan. I hope you'll consider being a vegan, dude. Because, you know, you seem like a cool guy. You're clearly a loving guy. Can you spread some of that love for animals, dude? Can you share a bit of it? I'd appreciate it, and tell you who would really appreciate it. Animals would appreciate it. Big time, mate. Big time. Thanks. Have a great day, sir. You have a great day too, Joey. This guy's back again. Meat developed human brain function. Yeah, do you know what else developed human brain function? Beating each other with rocks, living in caves. So should we do all that too? Come on, dude. Let's not be silly. So I couldn't help myself, could I? I had to do a little bit of silly billiness, didn't I? I'm considering being a vegan sooner or later, sir. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not at the moment, but I've considered, and I've actually stopped eating meat for years ago, but it was for a girl. Hey, Joey, man, I appreciate your honesty, dude. It's cool that you're so honest, and yeah, it's good that you've not been eating meat, you've not been eating the bodies of these animals, and you're considering being a vegan. And please do, dude. Please do. And not for a girl. You know, don't do it for love for a woman. Do it for respect for animals. Because at the end of the day, Joey, you know as well as I know, animals are weak, defenseless, completely innocent, and they don't deserve what we do to them. Right? That's why you become a vegan. That's why we become vegan. It's not for love, right? It's just for the simple fact that they just don't deserve it. They don't deserve what is happening to them. They're so weak, man. They're so defenseless. So I really hope you decide to go vegan, mate. I really do. And cheers for your honesty again, man. Appreciate that too. Majestic Mythology asks, hey man, do you not think it would be better to focus on the problems of humans like starvation, etc.? I know you'd say you care more about that too, but you obviously focus more on veganism. Why would it be better to focus on problems like starvation, Majestic? Because the thing is, right, you see, if I'm focusing on human starvation, who's focusing on animals? Because let me just break this to you, mate. 97% of global donations go to human rights causes. 97%. 3% goes to non-human causes, so animals, right? And of that 3%, about less than 1% goes to farmed animal charities, farmed animal activists, people trying to help farmed animals. The rest of that goes to dogs and cats and domestic animals, right? So if I don't speak up here and if I don't try to work here, I'm not going to make any kind of difference within the 97% of people who are already speaking for humans, right? But the animals need us more than human rights charities, than human rights charities need us, okay? Animals need us more. The majority of the world is speaking up for human stuff. Next to no one speaks up for animals, not farmed animals. So that's one thing. On the other side of this, in the terms of scale and severity, there is nothing that comes close to what animals go through. Nothing that comes close. You will see humans who have been, you know, hung upside down and had their throats cut open by gangs, right? Things like that. You'll see that occasionally, particularly violent things happen to humans. And they happen, it's odd when they happen, right? It's not normal. When something like that happens to humans, we all go, oh my God, how could they do that to a human? This happens as part of a system every single day to millions of animals. And it's just normal. People see it as normal to slash animals' throats open every single day. So my focus is, for all those reasons, on animals, because they're the ones that need raising up the most. Okay? And that's, I hope that answers your question. As it happens, though, a lot of vegans also focus on human rights stuff because, honestly, a lot of vegans have empathy, and the empathy doesn't just stop at animals. It's empathy for everyone. So a lot of vegans, like, for example, I've got a video coming out soon where I went and fed the homeless. I went and got some vegan food and gave vegan food to homeless people. Not because, that wasn't me because I'm doing that because I care about animals only. No, I did that because I also care about these people on the streets, and I had an opportunity and I thought, well, okay, let's get some vegan food, give them some vegan food. There's homeless people sat everywhere. Let's go and do something nice, right? So vegans tends to be some of the most empathetic people you'll ever meet. But yeah, we focus on animals for those reasons I just mentioned, and I hope that makes sense to you. I think it makes sense, right? Give you a couple of answers to your question. All right, guys, I'm looking back at the chat again, and you'll pop in some comments here, pop in some questions, and I'll try and answer them. I'm back on the chat again. Okay, I don't know how many of you guys are like following the live to the minute. Maybe some of you are delayed, but I'm looking at the chat right now. I'm going to take a little orange juice. It's not green, it's yellow. It just looks green, by the way, guys. Orange juice. And cheers for the question, by the way, Majestic. Appreciate it. Ruby, you're off. Okay, Ruby. Catch you later. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for coming. Without supplements, you can't be healthy without meat. Serious iron deficiency. Very serious. Remember, even broccoli screams when you rip it from the ground. See, I started reading it before. I should have read it and then decided whether I was going to respond to it. Obviously, it's silly billiness. Wrong. Without supplements, you can't be healthy without meat. Well, B12 supplements are also fed to animals. So kind of right, but also kind of wrong, because without supplements, you can't be healthy with meat because you need the B12 supplement that's been given to the animal with the meat. So there's your B12. Iron deficiency. No, there's been major studies on this, powerful studies on this, that show health outcomes between plant-based iron and animal-based iron. It's fine, health outcomes, good health outcomes with plant-based iron. It's absolutely fine, despite any differences in bioavailability. Doesn't matter, outcomes are good. And even broccoli screams when you rip it from the ground. No, it doesn't, because they don't have vocal cords. So, I'm a clinical dietitian. Oh yeah, a clinical dietitian is in the chat saying broccoli screams. Yeah, sure. Oh my goodness. That's really funny. Who am I looking at? You asking me to respond to a guy? I don't see any comments from a guy called. Oh wait, maybe I do. Oh yeah. Okay, fine. Some guy saying a study found an increase in depression among vegans. Yeah, correlation is not causation. So it's more than likely that people. Okay, put it this way, right? If you give $10 to a homeless person, and you give $10 to somebody who has a lot of money, it's more than likely that the person who has a lot of money will keep the $10, and it's more likely that the homeless person will share that $10 or £10 or whatever euros with others who need it. Why is that? Well, that's because people who have suffered or who are suffering are more likely to show empathy to others who suffer or are suffering. So when we know that, right, then it's no surprise that if there are a lot of people within the vegan world who have depression or who have suffered in some way or another, that's not a shocker, because people who have suffered have more empathy for those who suffer. They have more empathy for animals. And this has been shown. Look, I've been interviewing homeless people a lot on the streets when I've been doing animal rights activism, and they are always without fail, some of the most empathetic people you'll ever meet, because they are rock bottom. They are rock bottom, and they understand what it's like to suffer. So when they see suffering, they hear about suffering, their first point of call is to empathize and say, wow, like, tell me more about this. Whereas a regular non-homeless person who earns a lot of money comes over, they fight, argue every single time, because they don't have as much empathy as somebody who is suffering on the streets. So yeah, causation and correlation, two very different things. Correlation of mental health issues with vegans is most likely the other way around. They had health issues and then they went vegan. As in, they had mental health issues, then went vegan. There's nothing to suggest that people went vegan and then suddenly got mental health issues. You're not going to find that causation. It doesn't exist. There's a correlation, not a causation. You can go and Google the difference between those two things. Disputing without reading the study. Typical ideologue. I read the study a long time ago, you melon. Carry on being like this and you're going to get banned. This study's been around since 2014, mate. It comes up all the time. You think I've never seen it? I feel most vegans get depressed because they lost their faith in humanity and struggle with loneliness, Mark says. Yeah, that's one aspect of it. Some vegans feel that they get secluded, they get pushed out by society, their family and friends treat them differently, and that can also cause some temporary negative depressive emotions, for sure. But you won't find any kind of causation in terms of some kind of, oh, you're eating lentils now, so you're depressed. Like, you're not going to find that because it didn't happen, you know? In the case of depression specifically, Jeremy says, it's been well established that it correlates with more accurate beliefs in general. Could you explain that a little bit, mate? I've never heard that before. You never know. It's 2024. Could be a man. I don't judge. I don't know what you're referring to though. YYG says, how you been? How you been, YYG? I'm good, mate. I'm good. You always want to ban people when you lose the argument, lol. No, I only ban people when they're acting like silly billies. I won the argument because I've read the study he's talking about and I debunked it. I'm going to ban him because he's shouting in capitals and not listening to the responses. You see, there's a certain level you get to with people where if they just simply are not listening to what you're saying, then for the sake of everyone else in the chat, you just ban them, you know? And I don't really do that, to be honest with you. I did it in Mel and Steve's live stream, but I don't really ban people from my own one unless they spam. And see, he's not shouting anymore, so he doesn't get banned. And we don't really ban people here. Like Annie just timed somebody out, but we don't really ban people here unless they're really, really aggressive and violent or whatever. Then we ban them, right? But you know, anyway. YYG, I answered you, dude. I'm doing good. How are you? Race Lever wants to be banned. I can't ban you, dude. What are you on about? Spam isn't vegan, that's true. Can someone be vegan if they believe it's wrong to use animals, but they fall short in their behavior? Some people struggle with cheese and will have it on the rare occasion. If they don't believe it's wrong to use animals, if they can't overcome their desire for a food that they just like to eat, like if you believe it's wrong to hurt, if you believe it's wrong to be violent, but you just can't help yourself from going out and getting in fights every weekend when you're drunk, you don't believe violence is wrong, do you? You say one thing, but listen, look, all I'll say is this. Pay more attention to people's actions, not their words. If the whole vegan world learned this, we'd have a lot less surprises when people suddenly come along and go, say stupid stuff, right? You know, and vegans, you know, celebrities or whatever, they come along and they say something dumb. It's like, well, look at their actions and they say words like, oh yeah, I love animals, but look at their actions. Do they do anything? What actually have they achieved, or what have they, especially if they're a celebrity with a lot of money, it's like, have they actually donated anything? Have they done anything for animals? If the answer's no, but they had all the means to, don't be surprised when they suddenly turn around and say, oh, I'm eating fried chicken again because blah, blah, blah. Because it's like, you never did anything to show that you actually cared about animals. You're always just saying the words. You know what I'm saying? So all I would say is, yeah, pay attention to people's actions, not necessarily just the words. The words and the actions are usually conflicting with most people. Like most people say they love animals, right? Oh, I love animals. I care about animals. And then look what they do. They pay for meat, dairy, eggs, all animal products, and they fund all of these horrors to be done to animals, but then they say they love animals. You see, people's actions don't line up with their words, so you should always pay attention to actions. Hey, David, I'm asking in regards to your old Billie Eilish video. She's not a pick-me because she doesn't force people's beliefs down other people's throats like veganism is a diet, not a lifestyle. Well, no, a pick-me is somebody who doesn't say the things they believe because they want to be liked, right? Billie Eilish believes what I believe, and she is also a passionate vegan like I am, and she thinks it's wrong to stab animals in the throat like I do. But in that specific video, she decided to pretend she didn't believe all of that so that she could be liked by her audience. That's what being a pick-me is. Now, after that, she's done more videos where she's not been a pick-me, and where actually she's spoken very passionately and confidently about how much she cares about animals and how she feels like it's really wrong to hurt them. So since that video, she's changed. And if you'd like to go on my channel, Fizzaroli, you can find that other video. I made another video about Billie where I said, actually, I think she's done really well here, and I really like how she spoke about animals here. But in the video you watched, that she was being a pick-me. That's what a pick-me is. It's like if you said, oh, I'm really against sexism, right? You're an you're anti-sexist, you're a feminist, right? And then if somebody asks you, but you know your audience wouldn't like it if you said you were a feminist, and you started making fun of feminists, you're being a pick-me, right? Because if you are a feminist, but you won't say it on camera and you won't be proud of it, and instead you mock all the other feminists, you're a pick-me. That's what a pick-me is. That's the definition of it. That's what Billie Eilish did about vegans, all right? So sorry if that offended you, but it's just the reality. But anyway, she did better. She changed. She decided to stop acting like that. So that's good news, right? Suggest to those who struggle to give up cheese is watch Dominion start to finish. 90 minutes cure. Emotional rewiring. Very good. Yeah, definitely should watch Dominion on YouTube. Not to be rude, but is that t-shirt vegan friendly? Yes, it's a vegan ink and it's a totally vegan t-shirt, of course. Most t-shirts are vegan. Are you sober? I am sober. I don't drink. I've been sober since, oh my God. When did I stop drinking, Annie? Hello? When did I stop drinking? 4 years ago. There you go, she shouted. 4 years ago, I stopped drinking entirely. I've not had any alcohol in 4 years. Cheers, thanks for replying. No offense taken. Have a good one, Fizzarola. Yeah, cheers for coming in here and asking. I appreciate you coming in here and being reasonable. We are a little reasonable. It's nice that we can have reasonable conversations, even in 2024. We don't have to go crazy at each other and shout at each other and try and cancel each other. We can just chat. I appreciate that. Do you know you can hear plants scream when you cut them down with a synthesizer and they see this scream with an EKG? No, plants can't scream, Robert. They don't have vocal cords, mate. So that's impossible. Physically impossible. No vocal cords, no brain, no central nervous system. Can't scream. We need to be more inclusive and broad in what it means to be vegan. No need to judge people who aren't perfect. I don't know what you're getting at, Bob. Be more specific about what you're trying to say there, and I'll let you know if I agree or not. Check Naomi Kramer's message. It's a good one. All right, 1 minute. I'll scroll up. What am I looking at? Naomi Kramer? I don't see any message from any Naomi Kramer. Oh, here it is. As a new vegan, I'm struggling with friends and family, especially now as the holidays are coming up. Looks like I'll be spending Passover alone, which hurts. Any suggestions or tips? Naomi, I don't know where you're based, Naomi, but if you, just go on Facebook and put in the name of your city in the word vegan. See if you can connect with some local vegans, and maybe you'll find there are some local vegans who are available to do some kind of Passover thing. You could hang out, do a potluck, if everyone brings some food, something like that. If that's not the case and you can't find any local vegans, do some kind of online thing. Jump online, do some kind of Zoom call or something like that with some vegans. And I think these are good things to do. If you're not going to spend this kind of time with your family, you just it's a good idea to find yourself an alternate community with like-minded people, so that you can still enjoy yourself and still have that feeling of belonging that we all need. If your family is, are you worried that if your family's being horrible to you, then that's what I recommend to do, of course. If it's just that the food's going to bother you, like the animal products are going to bother you, you could go and just not do the food part of that with them, I suppose. I think a lot of vegans do that. They say, "Oh, I'll come before the food and I'll come after the food to hang out, but I don't want to eat with you guys." That's an alternative that you could go for too, Naomi. So I hope those options help you. I think those are the most common options I'd recommend for most people to try and deal with this kind of thing. Again, I hope it helps you, Naomi. And guys in the chat, if you've got any ideas too, let Naomi know, tag her, and see if give us some advice. Maybe I've missed something you could help with as well. Cheers, Naomi. Thanks for asking the question. I'm sorry you're going through that, by the way, but hopefully we helped a little bit. What else do we got here? Where do you get your protein? Good one, Matt. Somebody actually asked that earlier, and I answered it. I answered it very nicely. All right, Bob. What are we talking about here, Bob? Let's have a look. Wait, what's this got to do with? Bob, I thought you were going to ask me about inclusivity or something. No one wants to be fat. People struggle with what and how much they eat. If someone is doing their best to reduce their own to animals, I don't see why they aren't vegan. I don't get what you're saying, Bob. If they're doing their best, what do you mean doing their best? Oh, you're saying like you call someone vegan if they're still eating animal products because they're doing their best. That doesn't make sense, Bob. They're not doing their best. People can eat other things. If they just eat donuts and cheese because they like the taste, they clearly are not doing their best. That's just selfish. I don't think any of us who are against violence to animals should ever entertain the idea of saying violence to animals is okay because you're selfish. That's like saying back when, I don't know, if you're going to talk about the abolition of slavery, it's like saying, well, look, I know you're against it, but it makes your life easier to have them. So I get it. You can probably just keep them, and we'll just have you as part of our abolitionist group because you're doing your best, right? And I know you can't. It's hard to let go of free labor. It's hard to let. But no, we wouldn't. I'd never accept it in a human context. Why would I accept it in a context of animals? Yeah, no, I don't think so. It's selfishness is not a good excuse to abuse animals. I'm doing my best not to smack the microphone off David's hat. It is. I get it. I get that it must be a little bit annoying for some of you, but it's good though. It works. It works. My voice travels really well to it, and it sounds good. So end of the day, practicality over fashion. Okay. If you're against it, then why are you forcing others on the way you feel to stop what they like? Isn't that selfish? I don't get what that means, dude. Could you try that again, please? Someone who is overweight struggles with what they eat. Expecting dietary perfection is why they are overweight. I know many people who have reduced their animal product consumption. Yeah, I'm not really. If someone wants to be overweight, they can be overweight. Just eat vegan junk food. I mean, that's not. I mean, obviously, I'd rather people took care of their health, but that's not my concern. My major concern, is animals. And if somebody wants to overeat, they can overeat Ben and Jerry's dairy free, can't they? Right? So you can be as fat as you want, or as skinny as you want, or as hard to say, as athletic as you want, or as couch potato as you want. I'm not trying to make people switch their lives around and turn into an athlete. I'm literally saying to people, do exactly as you're doing right now, but please just do it without abusing animals. That's all I'm saying. So if you sit around all day eating Netflix and watching Netflix and eating vegan ice cream, just switch the ice cream for vegan ice cream. If you eat 10 steaks a bloody week, just switch it for seitan instead, right? And please don't keep on funding violence to animals. If you can just keep on living and eating and whatever the same way you are now. Now, obviously, I'd rather you chose to be healthier because it's better for you, better for your family, and ultimately better for animals, because if you end up being a vocal vegan, if you're going to die of diabetes in 2 years because you eat badly and you don't work out, I'd rather, for your own sake, for your family's sake, and for the animals' sake, that you took care of your health so that we'd have you around for 20 years instead, right? Obviously. But that's up to each individual person. I'm not out here to be an inspirational speaker for people to get up and get out there and work out, even though I could do that. To be fair. But, maybe I will again one day. I used to do that, but that's not my concern at this point. Did you say switch to Satan? No, Seitan. Seitan. Google it. Have you ever had a debate with a hunter? I don't understand how they kill for fun, Tessa asks. I think so, yeah. I've had, there'll be some on my channel, yeah. Yeah, I don't understand it either. Yeah, but yeah, hunters are a particularly violent brand of human, aren't they? Guys, give me some questions. I'm looking at the chat again, guys. I'm looking at the chat. Oh my goodness. Someone's saying here, 99% of plants are toxic. 99% of plants are edible. Darwinian logic doesn't even work. Man. I could go into, let's try and come up with some kind of comparison or analogy that shows why that logic is stupid. So let me just have a little think about it. Oh, there you go. There you go. Okay. It's most likely true. Let's Google this first of all. What percentage? Oh my goodness. Okay. Here you go, mate. Here's what you just said. So he said 99% of plants are toxic and 99% of animals are edible. So therefore that means that we're supposed to eat animals or whatever. Okay. Only 1.2% of the world's water is drinkable. So by that logic, we shouldn't drink water because only 1.2% of it is drinkable and the rest of it isn't. Logic fail. Next. Oh no, this corpse man guy is saying he follows Paul Saladino. Dude, Paul Saladino is such a joke that even the non-vegans are now starting to call him out on all of his lies. Dude, like, I'm not even being a douche. There's not even a vegan thing right now, okay? This is not between a vegan and you. This is not it right now, okay? This is me telling you, as another human here, just another human, do not listen to Paul Saladino. The guy has shown himself to be a liar and a complete and utter numpty multiple times. He's in business with the Liver King, who was exposed as a fraud. Exposed massively as a fraud. He was doing $20,000 of steroids a month or some shit. And he pretended he wasn't on steroids. Paul Saladino has failed. He claimed he was eating plant-based, failed. Claimed he was a carnivore, failed. Claimed he was some kind of keto, failed. The guy's a joke, dude. You gotta really, don't even listen to me. Go and look at the people out there, meat eaters, who are also calling out Paul Saladino. Go on Instagram, you can check out Dr. Ids on Instagram. That's Dr. IDZ, Dr. Ids on Instagram. You could check out Lane Norton, who is a bodybuilder, a powerlifter, and he's not vegan either. Neither of these guys are vegan, and they're both constantly calling out Paul Saladino for his lies and nonsense, okay? And this, so, like, again, this is not me being a vegan, telling you, trying to make you believe me or whatever. This is me being a human talking to another human. I'm telling you, Paul Saladino is not the guy to look for advice, okay? He's not the guy to go for. He is a fraud. He is a charlatan, okay? I'm telling you this for your own good. You do what you want with that information, mate. I can't make you do anything, all right? I can't make you do anything, but I'm just telling you, he's not the guy. You do not want to listen to that guy, all right? Complete as charlatan, Charlatan, by the way, is people who lie for money, basically. Did I miss a super chat? Flower Chili, thank you so much for the super chat. Thanks for the work you do for animals. Thank you so much. And Naomi says, as a new vegan, I'm struggling with family and friends, especially now with the past. Naomi, I answered your question earlier on. Did you miss that? Or is it just come through now for some reason, Naomi? But yeah, if you're still here, Naomi, just scroll back. We answered your question, but I'll quickly answer it in brief. My answers were, number one, try and find local vegans Facebook groups and try and connect with vegans. And number two, if you can't do that, then maybe just try and arrange with your family to go before or after they've eaten, so that you don't deal with the animal products and you can just have the hanging out part of it. But cheers, Naomi. Thank you for the donation. Sharon asks, what are your views on vegan pet food? For dogs, for example, dogs are omnivorous. Dogs can be perfectly healthy eating plant-based food. There's plenty of studies now showing that. There's some studies even suggest that dogs have less health issues with plant-based food, because obviously the stuff that they're eating, the commercial pet food, is terrible for animals. So yeah. With cats, the research is promising, although from my knowledge, it's not it's not as good as with the dogs right now, although they are looking at doing more like cat foods and doing more research. For example, I know Omni, which is a vegan pet food brand, they're doing lab meat for cats, actually, which is very interesting. So that would mean that cat food would no longer need to kill animals for cat food. It's going to be made in a lab, which should probably be even better for the cat's health anyway. So there'll be studies and stuff on that. There'll be research there. And guys, if you're interested in picking up some vegan dog food, go to omni.pet, and you can get 50% off using the code RAMS50, all capitals, RAMS50. It's in the description. Go and check it out in the description if you're interested. And they get a big discount there. What else we got? All right, guys, listen, I'm going to shoot off. I'm going to post my new video. Okay, guys, got a new video coming up right now. So stick around on the channel. Don't go anywhere. My new video is coming up in about 3 minutes or so. 2 minutes, all right, guys? So get ready for it. Go to the channel. I hope you enjoy it. Leave some comments under here as well. Just likes and comments everywhere, okay, guys? And I will see you all. I'll see you all very soon. I'll see you all in the comments of my new video that I'm about to post right now. Thanks, everybody, for the questions. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the donations. Thank you, Annie, for moderating. Subscribe if you hate me and you hate vegans. Subscribe if you love me and you love vegans, because it's just wins all around. If you subscribe, you get to see more of me to hate. If you hate me, and you get to see more of me to love if you love me. Everyone wins, right? So subscribe, guys. Catch you all soon. Legends.